Alright, so I have finished cleaning these, and if you look, you can see all the way around there, it's really nice and clean. Inside is clean. Inside here, it's mostly clean. There's still a little tiny bit of old brake fluid in there, but that'll wash out as I'm going through. I actually took these down and put them on a bench grinder. Only use the metal brush. So, I mean, you can use a wire brush, but it takes a little while and it kind of kills the brush. And you can't really reach inside. I actually used my Dremel on the inside because there's a lot of crud built up on around the inside. But if you remember, this was in here and it looked like one solid piece. I could not tell the difference. So what I did was I took a 1/4 inch socket extender, pushed it inside of there, and then used the hammer and kind of tap, 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 tap down, and it just eventually popped out the bottom. So that worked really well for me. And if you look on the inside of there, there's no damage at all to the inside of that. So yeah, this has all been cleaned. The old gasket that was right in here, it's actually still in fairly good shape. I may keep a hold of that in case I need one on a quick, with quick notice. So this gasket I'm gonna stretch around here. Probably gonna be a pain in the butt because it's a pretty tight gasket. This one goes inside of there. I mean, I can even just put that bad guy in there right now. Let's make sure it's seated properly. There's a little bit of a lip on the outside, so you want to make sure it's seated properly, just about flush there. The old screw and the new screw goes right in here and just kind of snaps on right there. And then this whole thing sits inside of there. And you can see it pressurizes once you put the spring in. It keeps itself out there. So yeah, that's the basic gist of it. That's cleaning it all out, and when you put this on, you got to make sure that this is matching the same way. There's an edge that goes up right here, up on this side, down on this side. Make sure that up edge is towards the bottom, the inside of the piston. It's just the way it was on there, so we always put it back the same way, and then we're good to go. So we'll stretch this bad boy around here, and it is a seriously strong gasket, so maybe use some I used a screwdriver to get it off. Try to get it on with just a little bit of grease in my hands, or brake fluid, whatever. Yeah, there it is. Be careful that you don't, bite into the gasket at all with the flathead. Get that going down there. Make sure it's all seated properly. It's nice and round. It turns pretty smoothly. Looks pretty good. So there's that. Got that one back in there. Then that whole thing slides back in, and with a bit of pressure, it will pop back down inside of there. So make sure that our gasket's fitting really smooth. Just don't want anything to be too, you got to use elbow grease on this, but you don't want to make sure, you don't want to force it into place. So there you go, and there it is. That's the one. Then your rod goes in here, that end in there, this goes into your bike, and you're good to go. So that's it. We'll go back over to the bike and we'll put it back in. Oh, there's actually one more piece here. Put the new, which one's the new one? This one's the new one. New cover on top of that. Pull that up, make sure that's not twisted. I don't know if you can see that now, it's kind of twisted right there. Make sure it's not, you just do everything, do good work. Don't do it half-assed because you'll regret it later. You are dealing with your clutch right now, and even little bits like this, you take a shortcut now, you'll regret it when you get on the road. So there's that. I also want to just throw out, there's a product called Speed Bleeder thread sealant. They use this for racing, and the reason that they use it on racing specifically is because after every race, they bleed the brakes to take the pressure off. And so what you do is you take this, you put it around the last, or the threads here, leave the last thread and a half or so, and you actually heat it in the oven for 10 minutes at 200 degrees. You bake it in there, and then you let it cool, and then you put it into your wherever it goes. You know, there's one for the brakes, one for the brake calipers as well on each side, on the Magna. So when you put it in there, it just seals that, and then but it allows you to remove it and put it back on multiple times, and it still has a good seal. So it's something, you know, worth keeping an eye on, or thinking about getting. It's definitely well worth it. So yeah, we'll tighten this guy back right down real quick, and then we'll put that thread sealant on in a little while. But it's called Speed Bleeder thread sealant, and you can get it online. It's $10. It's like it's $10 for a bottle, and inside of the bottle is a little brush to actually brush it onto the threads. But it's like $7.99 for shipping, so it's $17.99 online, which is well worth it. You know, I mean, you're talking about your brakes and your clutch and stuff. It's well worth it. So yeah, we'll go back over to the bike and put her on.